Before, it was believed that your genetics determine your actions and behaviors, but did you know that your actions and behaviors could actually determine your genes? Hi, my name is Yasmin, and today we're going to be learning about epigenetics. Now to begin, let's start with the basics and break it down. First, let's define what genetics is. Genetics makes up the properties or features of an organism characteristic. It contains DNA, which consists of a chain made up of 4 types of nucleotide subunits, which is composed of a 5-carbon sugar, a phosphate group, and one of the 4 bases, adenine, cytosine, guanine, and thymine. This sequence of bases supposedly determine your life instructions. Genes provide sequences of bases that provide instructions on how to make proteins that trigger various biological actions to carry out the life instructions. So to veer into epigenetics, let's define what it means. Epigenetics is a study of changes in organisms caused by modification of gene expression, rather than alteration of the genetic code itself. The epigenome doesn't change your DNA, but it determines how much or whether some genes are expressed in various cells in your body. Let's look, for example, at identical twins. They originate from the same DNA, but a lot of the times they end up as completely different people. Even in traits that have a significant genetic component are different among identical twins. For instance, why one twin might have a heart disease, while the other has a heart in perfect condition. Nature versus nurture plays a large role in it, but essentially it's through epigenetics. The actions you do in your life cause genes to be silenced, also known as dormant, or enhanced, also known as active, over time. Genes in DNA are expressed when they're read and transcribed into RNA, which is translated into proteins, which are much of what determines a cell's characteristics and functions. Epigenetic changes can enhance or interfere with the transcription of specific genes. The way this happens is that the DNA or the protein it gets wrapped around gets labeled with small chemical tags. Some of these chemical tags, called methyl groups, inhibit gene expression by causing the DNA to coil more tightly, making the gene still there, but unreadable, or allowing the DNA to coil more loosely, making it more expressed. The chemical tags that have the ability to turn genes on and off can be influenced by diet, chemical exposure, and medication, that this can eventually lead to disease. As twins get older, their epigenomes diverge, which can change their way of fighting off diseases and how they age. Most epigenetic marks are erased when egg and sperm cells are formed, but now it is being proven that some can survive, passing those epigenetic traits on to the next generation. Epigenetics could be used to trace the origins of many conditions. Once we understand how our epigenome influences us, we might be able to manipulate it and benefit mankind.